Hello. Welcome back to the Honestly Maybe podcast, where we talk about our passionate opinions, full-bodied feelings, and everything else we're still figuring out.
Do you ever figure it out?
Honestly, maybe.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
So nice to see you again.
So nice to see you. We just recorded something else, but it's something different than the regular episode. So, but it's been a while since we sat down and recorded. It's been, what do you say, a month?
I think so.
Yeah. So, how are you?
Right now, I'm good.
Good.
I feel good. My spirits have been lifted today.
Good. Good.
Thank you.
No problem.
How are you?
I'm good. Yeah.
Take me through your check-in.
So, let's see. I've honestly had a really good month and very just chill. Nothing crazy happened. I mean, I had a crazy period where that was awful. That was really like a hell week, and that really took me out. But in general, I would say May's been really good. And yeah. I've just been checking off all my daily things. I've been working out. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
I feel like I haven't seen you in a lot of May.
No.
Yeah.
No, we haven't.
I'm glad to hear this.
Yes.
Well, I wrote a couple of things down. Thank you. I appreciate that. I wrote down a couple of things that I wanted to update you on really quickly. Okay. I'm just going to put this here so I can look at it for a second. Okay, well, I've been DJing. I've been practicing my DJing and I'm loving it. I've been building my set. I'm still trying to figure out my vibe, but I'm building the set anyway because it doesn't need to be perfect.
Exactly.
And we'll get more into that, but
so cute.
That's definitely like a big
so much fun
thing
as well.
that I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying it. And yeah. The second thing, I played at the festival. I did my show and I loved it. It was one of the hardest things to facilitate because I haven't been a band director for a while, so that was like pulling all of that together and orchestrating everything was difficult. Haven't played with a fully live band for a long time. But when I was doing it, I'm like, everything is worth this because I love this so much and I have the best time, and I'm always really like, those are moments when I really feel proud of myself of when I'm doing it, but how I'm doing it as well.
Right.
Because there were so many things I could have gotten really pissed off about that I just decided not to. And that makes me feel more proud that I could have chosen to be a certain way, but I chose the good way.
Right.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
Those are the two things I wanted to update you on. What do you have?
I don't have a lot of updates, actually, I feel like. Let me just think. Well, let's just say I've not had like very specific events. Like have just been really good in my routines, and daily life is just really good and enjoying that. And then of course the artist's way, which takes a lot of time, and then that I feel like my things are, a lot of it is connected to the book. Yeah.
Okay, so should we do that when we do our update, or do you want to do it now? Artist way.
Yeah, we can get into it.
Tell me.
So the last time we recorded, we were in week 4, and that was when we had finished our reading deprivation, and we are currently in week 8, and we are actually doubling it.
It needs more time.
Honestly,
it's like a 30-page chapter.
Now that I've said this, do you know what?
What?
I had such a good week in that reading deprivation week. I feel like I've been chasing the high of the reading deprivation ever since.
Maybe that's why I felt a little like disconnected after that.
Because the week after, my screen time skyrocketed.
Yeah.
And I immediately realized, like, oh my God, this is making me feel horrible.
Yeah.
And ever since, I've had a harder time with my screen time. It's really strange. Anyway, so that, is something.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we need to do another deprivation week. Because I've tried to do a couple of days here and there, but I feel like I need the detox.
Yes. I was so good. And I just loved that week. I feel like that was a great week.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. Anyways, one thing that was really good, that I really liked out of the book is that we had, this was a while ago, like in one of the first weeks, we had to do an assignment where we had to write our ideal environment. And I wrote this whole page of what our ideal environment was, and I had it with me, like on my desk. Not here, but on my desk, like in my house. And then this was in the first week of May, like end of April, first week of May. Me and my boyfriend, we were able to stay at his colleague's house. And this house was like just the whole situation, where it was, what it looked like, just the surroundings.
Crazy.
It was exactly what I had written down on the paper. So that was very magical to me. And I was like, oh my God, is this a gift from the universe to me? I was like, let me just think it is, because it was so nice.
I think so.
That was so lovely. I felt like I was on a vacation. Yeah, it was really good. So that was really nice. So I wrote a few things down, just some little things throughout the last few weeks we did, that we can kind of touch on. Let's see. One of them was, and I know we've talked about this like off the pod, but one of them was, what is the payoff of staying stuck? Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that has been, when I was reading it, it was so interesting to read, and definitely something that I felt very connected to. I was like, I feel like it did something to me. And since then, I feel like I've been way more aware of where I'm almost deciding to stay stuck. Wow. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Do you feel that?
Completely.
And
I feel it from you.
Yeah. I feel like this is actually not super strange. I feel like a lot of people have this, but sometimes there's like this one thing, and you should do it, and it could really make changes, and then it's the one thing you decide to avoid and just keep on avoiding.
It's the frog.
And then sometimes you say to yourself, no, like really make time for this, and you just keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it off your list. It's interesting to me.
That happened to me this week when that's why I overcompensated and stayed up. But like, I completely understand this. It's the frog, eating the frog. Like I sometimes would write this in my morning pages. I'm going to eat the frog this morning. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the hardest thing first.
Yeah.
The thing that I keep putting off. And
let's actually talk about the frog, because that's funny.
The frog.
Oh, the frog? What?
Eat the frog.
Eat the frog?
It's like it's a phrase.
Oh,
the frog also, we should talk about that. But I think that might be in the things I love. I don't know. We'll see.
Right.
But eating the frog is like doing the hardest task first.
Right.
It's like the thing that you do all the little tasks to put off doing the other tasks. So eat the frog is when you do the hardest one first.
Yeah. So yeah, we definitely haven't mentioned this, but we made a May bingo, and we both wrote like 9 things, and at least one of the things that I wrote down, and you wrote it too, but one of them was like, I want to write 8 job applications. Well, what's the date?
I did not do 8.
It's the 21st of May. I have done none.
You have 9 days.
I know, like I could still do it,
but
I'm just like, this is one of those things for me where I'm like, why? What are you doing?
Yeah. But I think it's looking at what is it? The reason you're putting it off is because, I don't know the reason you're putting it off. You know that. But I feel, for me, if I'm putting something off, it's because I'm scared of the outcome being something I don't want, because then it reinforces negative beliefs I have about myself.
Right.
And I don't want to go through this cycle of I put myself out there, I get rejection. Oh, of course I'm gonna experience rejection because I'm this and this, and then I believe these negative things, and I'm creating this cycle instead of breaking out of it. But in order to break out of it, you have to put yourself in a vulnerable position, and that's really hard. So I completely understand. So the payoff of being stuck in this scenario is kind of
feeling safe.
Yes.
Which is also something that comes in the book. I think it's called like I think we talked about this when I was like, the book mentions something about safety is a very expensive illusion, and it comes in different ways. I think if you work in the creative field, or honestly maybe it doesn't even matter, but I think what we notice around us is that it's this like question of, do I choose a contract job that's going to give me that, where I know I have a stable income each month, I know I'm going to work, and I don't have to worry about that, because let's be honest, that's nice. It's nice to not have to worry about that. Like, it feels good because, well, at least in my experience, I have now been in like almost a year, which is crazy, but in this job, which it's not my dream job, but it's given me so much peace. And I don't want to stay at this job. Get me right here. I don't want to stay at this job. I know me, for my soul, I need to move and need to pursue other things. But I think I am scared to like sacrifice the safety and the peace and the calm that I'm so grateful for this calm and this peace, and like whatever it was before that was horrible, that was like a hurricane that I was in, and I don't want to go back to the hurricane.
But are you believing that you can't experience that peace in another job that you find?
I can, but I think I'm scared. Like, I think it's like, I'm just scared. And then I think about the book again. It's like, leap and the net will appear. And it's like, it's so
true.
difficult.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you want to add something? No.
To the past few weeks?
No, just about this specifically, or no?
About the fear? Or what specifically?
Or like avoiding the work. Staying stuck.
I don't
thoughts?
think that I've necessarily been thinking it consciously in this way of like, oh, I'm stuck right now. What do I want to do? I think more just do it. I just try to take action before I can think about things too much, because I feel like my brain works in a way that I automatically want to do something, and then the longer I wait, the more my brain talks myself out of it. So I feel like I need to do something before I talk myself out of it, whereas some people are more like, I need to talk myself into doing something. I will more go the opposite way of, what are all the reasons I shouldn't do it? And so I'm like, and those are all fueled by fear, so I know I need to take action before I can, not in like an impulsive way, maybe sometimes, but I need to do that. And I remember this, I had a phone call that I was anticipating quite a lot, and I was a bit nervous, and my phone started ringing, and I was like, it was late, the phone call. And I thought, maybe we can do it tomorrow. We can do the call tomorrow. And then I was like, no, then I'm going to spend the rest of the evening thinking about it tomorrow. And I was like, just do it. Just pick up now and have the phone call, have the conversation. It's over. And I had to do it. I had to force myself to just do it in the moment. And it happened. And afterwards I was like, that was fine. It was fine. It was great. Okay. And I was having a conversation with two friends the other day, and we were talking about this idea of pre-suffering or suffering twice. So it's when you're anticipating something and you have a lot of anxiousness around the situation, you go through those experiences physically as well of stress, like your cortisol is probably skyrocketing, you're feeling like palpitations, you can feel stress, you can feel heart, whatever, grief, sadness, all of those things you can go through if you're imagining all of the scenarios. And then when it actually happens, you go through it all again. And then if it doesn't happen, the payoff is really low because you've already gone through the whole process. And I think I can have a tendency, I could see that that would be something that I would experience if I don't nip it in the bud. And that's why I'm really trying to practice doing things before I think about them.
Good.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I do feel like I also have definitely gotten better at just quieting down my nervous thoughts. And I just it literally in my head, I go like, no, not now. Like, not now,
Yes.
not now, not now, not now. Because sometimes I tend to wake up in the middle of the night and then all of a sudden things hit me.
Really?
And then I'm like, and I'm like, no. And then I really have to tell myself, no, I'm not.
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
not
that's
going to think
crazy.
about it. Yeah. Or random things. Like, for example, I can get nervous for random things, like for driving class, for example. And then I have a driving class on Monday and I'll get nervous on Sunday. And then I really have to tell myself, no, not doing this. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So a different thing was, let me see. I don't know if you have anything to say about this, but there was a little part where I talked about how we can be self-destructive and how that can look like, or what that can look like. Because I feel like self-destructive sounds quite is maybe strong for some people, or it sounds very negative. Accurate. Or like it is, but I feel like when I used to think of self-destructive, honestly, I like, I don't want to be like saying something triggering, but I think I used to think of like self-harm, like physical, or like, you know. Okay. But then the book touches,
I think it is in a way though.
It's definitely a part of it. But what I didn't realize for a long time is, for example, being self-destructive in a way of not sticking to your routine or your good habits. And then when I read that, I was like, whoa, that is definitely the way that I self-destruct.
Yeah.
It's just letting it all go and, I don't know,
seeing what happens.
Yeah.
I find like sometimes I have to choose though. Like I have to choose how I want to be self-destructive. Like, which I hate that this is the way it is, but like, or maybe it doesn't have to be this way. But when I think about the podcast, for example, I was like, I want to edit this. Either I have to decide now, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I've not done the editing and I'm constantly putting something off, or I can wake up and be tired because I spent all night editing. So I was like, I'm either going to sacrifice my sleep or I'm going to sacrifice this project. And I felt I had allowed myself to get into the position where I had to choose. I couldn't have both, right? I could have had both if I'd have had better time management, right, and been able to motivate or encourage myself to just do it. Yeah. But that was, I felt like I had to make a choice there.
Yes. I get that actually. Yeah. I think we do this all the time. And then sometimes, yeah.
When I was in high school, this was like my final exams, my IB exams, and I was studying one night and I sent my teacher an email because I had a question and she was like, just send an email. And I remember the next day I was in class and she was like, don't you ever email me at this time again, because it was like 1:00 in the morning. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. She goes, no, like for you, please don't be like, she was more concerned for me that I was studying so late. Right. But I was like, I need a long time to study. I found school quite difficult. It was hard for me to retain information because I would get so nervous. So I was constantly trying to read as much, write as much. And that was like, my habit is I always sacrifice my sleep because I'm like, I need more hours to do this. And I know you're the opposite in ways. Like I remember asking you last time, like, what would you sacrifice? For some reason, you always need your 8 hours. That's really good. You're going to live a long life, sister.
I'm so sensitive for a bad night's sleep. Like I am, oh my God, last weekend from Friday to Saturday, I had such a bad night's sleep of what? Bad night. I had such a bad night.
Are you drunk?
And I wake up enraged. No, rage is maybe a little bit extreme, but I woke up, I opened my eyes and I was so angry, and it was because my boyfriend was like, so he moves so much. I get an elbow in my face, like it's not peaceful sometimes to lay next to him. And so I wake up in a fucking bad mood, like really bad. And I'm like, I was really.
Were you in your bed?
No. Oh. I was really grumpy, and I was being really grumpy to him as well. And then I was like, "Where's the key?" He's like, "It's right here." I was like, "I'm gonna go for a walk." And then I walked out the door. I didn't say a word. I didn't say bye. I walked out the door, but I was like, I need to get rid of this bad mood in my walk. But it was horrible, and and then it just
Did you?
I did, but it does influence my entire day.
It lingers. I was
so exhausted. Honestly.
It is important.
Yeah. Okay.
What else did you write?
Let's see.
Can I say there's one thing I wrote about in my reflections, which was like the difference between striving and then being connected to like more of a state of flow. And I find that I will limit myself more and more and more, and then I'll strive more and more and more because I've limited myself. So then I'll get into this. So for example,
I don't understand what you're saying. Whoa, sorry.
I mean,
again.
Wait, let me be clear. Let me think about how I want to say this. So this was like on the week where we talked about money.
Right.
And I was talking about how like I'll really try to limit myself so that I can save. And oh my God, hang on. I feel like I'm fighting with this couch. Well, what I was saying was I don't want this, whatever.
No?
Yeah, it's too, I don't know how to explain it.
Wait, but I am so curious. What do you mean? So you limit yourself in terms of money, for example?
So I'll think,
and then you have bigger financial goals, or what?
No, not even necessarily like a goal. I'll think, I don't know how to explain it. Let me read what I wrote. I think I said, if I confine myself to things that I must do for the sake of money and the potential of money, rather than the small gifts. So it talks about small gifts in the chapter. So talking like if I have, because I do freelance, right? I have a lot of little things, jobs, projects, whatever that I could do.
Yeah.
And I'll think, okay, what's going to earn me the most in this moment? I'm going to just focus on this. I'm going to put all my time into this one. But then I'm not like pouring into the potential of some of the other things.
Right.
So then I'm limiting myself, I'm restricting myself, but then I'm working even harder because I'm like, as soon as I finish this, then I can do this. So I feel like I'm creating this like push and pull with myself, where I'm saying, if I do this, I can reward myself with this. And so it becomes conditional. And so then I'm working harder for something, but I'm also limiting myself even more. And the book was talking about connecting to this universal flow of creativity, not striving for it, but creating space to being open to receiving it. And I was like, I'm doing the opposite. I'm like making it harder. It's like the harder you pull the elastic band, the more tension there is. And I think I was doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you feel like ever since that, you've been able to let it go a little bit more, or no?
I've just become a lot more aware of
right.
my joy and my and being playful in my creativity instead of like just having fun with it. And I think that's also tied in with when it was talking about perfectionism. You know, I'm like, but why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I love it, doing this because I want to do it. Yes, I want it to become fruitful and turn into something, but I don't want to lose the joy in it for that reason. So now I'm trying to go with joy first. Right. Lead with joy. Right. And the other things I find naturally fall into place.
Right. Money was an interesting one. We had high hopes. I liked the one because I like money as a topic in general. Yeah. And I knew I had some like weird relationship with money for a long time, and I wasn't very, I don't know, good with money for a long time. I am really proud of myself how I've been with money. And
you've been amazing this year.
And it's really strange because I really feel like yes, I'm doing good in the goals I've set, but I really feel like it has even more to do with my mindset towards it. And that has made it even better because for some reason I have definitely restricted myself for the sake of getting towards my goal, but I don't feel restricted at all. I feel amazing. I don't feel like I can't do things. I don't feel like I'm missing out. I don't feel like only with like shopping sometimes I'm like, oh, I want to go shopping, but I'm like, no, Hannah, don't shop. But like in general, like everyday life, I don't feel restricted at all. And then at the same time, I'm like reaching my goal like even faster than I thought I would. So
I think though what's a great thing is knowing what you get out of the things you spend your money on. So for example, if someone's like, I spend so much money on getting coffees when I go out, and I love getting a coffee because it makes me feel fun and free and fresh and whatever. And so it's like, how do you get that feeling without buying the coffee? And I think maybe in a way you've kind of been able to source all of those things because you've said a number of times, like, I don't feel this restriction. I'm like,
No.
how was I not doing this before?
Yeah.
And I think you've been able to notice the satisfaction that you get from the things you no longer do, and you found that satisfaction in other places.
I think so. And also, I remember when we had to write this list of like things I enjoy. Was it 10 things I enjoy doing or something? And it was like all the main things that I enjoy doing, and they're all free.
Yeah.
They're all things that I don't need money for. And so if I want to have a good time, I can just do one of these things for my list and I'll have a good time, and then I don't have to spend money, because I think a lot of us think like, well, you can't do anything without spending money.
Yeah.
Which is not true.
It's
I mean,
not
sometimes
true.
I do have to say, like, sometimes I'm like thinking about starting a new hobby, and then I'm like, but then I have to invest in this hobby.
Well, I mean, baking
is worth it.
You got to buy. Baking's expensive. You've got to buy all the ingredients.
That's true. Love baking,
but the
though.
baking
Oh my God.
itself is free.
Yes, and I mean, yeah, I love baking.
The other thing on the topic of money, they talked about Cinderella in the book, and it said like people put so much focus on being the Cinderella of, like, you know, just that restriction, and they were like, but don't forget to give yourself the glass slipper too. Like, keep that Cinderella, or be Cinderella, but still give yourself the slipper. Like, you don't need to punish yourself.
Right.
I think I had this habit with money of like, okay, you can't do anything for this month because you need to save this much, and
right.
I would feel that. And now it's like I'm more intentional. I'm like, do I really, really want that?
Right.
Yes or no? And I didn't really stop to ask myself so much before.
Right.
And I think that, like, I was always saying, I said to my friend a few weeks ago, I feel like I'm actually more generous with my money when I have less of it. Not that I'm spending on superfluous things and just things I don't need, but I think I noticed this just now because I've had more money, I've had less money, and I notice my mindset actually feels a bit healthier when I have less of it, because I'm not as consumed with the number, because I'm like, well, I'm gonna be okay. Like, I don't panic as much.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will worry, but I just find that I have a bit more peace about it having less of it, which doesn't make sense to me.
I think it does. And also then having a chapter like this where you have to pay a little bit more attention to it, and then you think a bit more like, how do I feel about it? I think you evaluate what you value, and what you value, like usually a lot of the things you value and are making you very happy, or, you know, make you feel good, are usually not necessarily the things that you spend a lot of money on. Or for example, with the baking, like, I love baking, the activity of baking, because I find it so calming and so nice. But also I love being able to share that with people, and then that is super valuable to me.
Yeah, that's free.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
Okay. The book was here now. Yeah. So maybe one last thing about and then maybe we can do a few of those questions, like the finish the phrase from the book.
Oh yeah.
One thing that I really resonated with that they mentioned in the book, or that she mentions in the book, is I think this is maybe in the last chapter or the one before, where she explains like how you can notice if you're a stuck creator, and then especially if you are in the process of getting unstuck, and how creators who are like trying to, you know, work on their creativity and regain their power in that sense, often feel like huge amount of rage and grief about their lost time and their lost years. Yeah. And before we read this, we've talked about this before. Yeah. And it's something that I can feel sometimes so strongly, and it can make me feel sad, honestly. But then when I read that, I felt a little bit more like, okay, I guess I can just let it go then, because it doesn't matter. I mean, it really doesn't. But like, I think this is a very real thing, like that thing that, oh, but am I getting too old for this? Am I too new or too old to start something new, or to start over, or to be a beginner at something? And I feel like it's so silly, but I think it's very real. I think a lot of people have this feeling that, oh, but I couldn't start that now. Like, I feel like, I think she says this as well, that the, like this enthusiastic creativity and this like very childlike playfulness is only for when you're really young, because that it suits that period or something, for when you're a child or whatever. And that it doesn't, or it's not like it's a good place to be them. In adulthood or something.
That's really interesting. I can relate to this completely. But I think it's nice to see it from the perspective of like, this is part of the process of becoming unstuck. And it's, you know, time is the one thing. And I wrote so much about this in one of the previous chapters about like my frustration with time. And I was like, this is the one thing I have zero control over. Why am I using my energy to be worrying about it? It's just so illogical. I really liked when she talks about the becoming reconnected. I think the last chapter was about like becoming connected again, and about instead of reaching up for inspiration, sort of allowing it to come down to you. And that I always felt like my song Brown Skin, when I wrote that, whenever anyone would say anything about it, like, and I meant this in that most humble way, when someone would say it's a great song, I'd be like, it is, isn't it? Like, I never felt like it was my song. Even when I wrote it, and I remember it so clearly, I just was like, it just happened, and I felt like it was given to me, or it came through me. It never felt like I had written this song from myself. And I wrote about this when I read this chapter. I was like, 'cause it immediately made me think of it, and that was an example for me of when I felt I created an environment and a mindset within myself that allowed me to receive it. And usually as a creative, I think we get into this habit of I have to have a constant output, which means I have to constantly be making something. So we're like, what can I do? What are Googling? What are ideas? What's some content ideas? What are song ideas? What all of that. And then you're striving so much that you become more blocked. And then I get frustrated, and I'll keep going because I'm like, I need to create, I need to do something. And when I wrote that song, I didn't have any of this in my mind because of the circumstances. And it just came so easy. And I know that's not how it works with every song, but when I was reading about this in the chapter, it really landed with me of like, okay, I need to be more intentional about how I'm creating space to receive, instead of setting up circumstances for me to like strive and really, really reach for something, grasping for it.
Yes. I love this, that you said this, because whenever I love watching these like interviews with artists, and I love it. I feel like a lot of artists describe things like this. Like I remember seeing one with Stormzy that he talks about it this way. I think he had an interview with Rick Rubin, and I think Rick Rubin actually talks about this in his book, The Creative Act, as well, that it's like you are like a portal, and like completely. It's like it just gets I don't know,
comes through you can feel the difference. And I find that with when I'm in the studio, I can really feel the difference of when something's just happening and I feel like I'm there, and it's like I'm there's so many things falling and I'm trying to catch them to be like, let's throw this, let's try this, versus I want to do this and I want it to be like this and I want it to sound this way and I want to create it in this, like I can feel the difference when, and it's not to say you can't create a good song in that way, because you can, but I can really feel the difference from something that feels bigger than me and something that I feel is I'm pulling out from deep within me, that they both I guess have their own value, but I feel like you can really feel the difference in the process.
I have to say, I think only in that moment in the reading deprivation where when I was getting these ideas, I would say I felt that, but I think I don't experience this often. So it's definitely something, and this is something that I've been feeling for a couple of weeks as well, is that I feel like I could be more connected, and I'm trying to just kind of like, maybe whatever's happening is just what's meant to happen. But yeah, just like having this idea, like I feel like I could be more connected, or I feel like more could be happening. Yeah, we've talked about this before, but yeah, sometimes I'm like,
How
do I need to do more? I don't know.
How do we become more connected?
Yeah. But honestly, it's that quiet time.
It is. It really is. It's the deprivation.
Yeah.
I really want to start building that into my...
Same.
Consistently into my weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe one day a week. I think for me, a Monday would be good. Because I've probably spent more time on my phone.
Yeah.
Do you want to do the questions?
Oh, yes. Let's do them.
I loved this.
So
What was the purpose of this? Do you remember?
Yeah, sometimes there's a few exercises, and there were a few funny ones where you had to fill in the blank.
It was like Mad Libs.
Do you want to do the positive ones, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
wait, what were the negative ones?
These were just kind of like...
Were there negative ones?
They were all like, as a kid I lacked whatever.
Oh yeah, we don't need to...
Okay, wait. What it says is...
We should say our answer at the same time.
Yeah. But I don't have my answers here, right? But okay.
So think of it and then we'll say it.
Anyways, it was an exercise to
Where am I?
Find like hidden... No, not hidden. Hold on.
Maybe do one thing at once.
Yeah. Buried parts of ourselves that can be uncovered by some digging. And then it could tell you just some things about yourself, some beliefs that maybe you didn't know you had, or some blocks, just to get more like, yeah, just a little bit more knowledge about yourself, I guess. And then the starting ones were a little bit more, well, I don't want to say negative, but they had more of like
it was more like going back to childhood.
Yeah, and things that you wish you had but you didn't have, or just things like that. But then
I just read something.
There were also positive ones, and they were kind of funny to me. So it says, it is important to acknowledge our positive inventory as well as our shortfalls. Take positive stock of what good you have to build on in the present. Finish the following phrases. I have a loyal friend in...
Should we say at the same time?
Oh.
Hannah. Can you imagine? I was like, I'm going to write this, but...
I mean, we both have many, I think, loyal
friends.
friends. So it could be multiple people, but yeah.
One thing I like about my town is... I said the water.
But do you talk about Amsterdam?
Yeah. What did you... Oh, were you thinking like...
I don't remember, right? Because I don't have my answers here.
Okay.
But I would say it's just the personality of the city, right?
Yeah.
Not the people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just the people. I love... In the summer, I love going for a walk at like 6 a.m. in the morning. And then Amsterdam is so nice. What?
You lost me at 6 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Woo.
Well, you know.
I know you. Okay.
3, 2, 1. I think I have nice
tits.
This was literally the first thing that popped up.
So funny.
So hilarious.
So true.
Writing my morning pages has shown me I can... I don't remember what I wrote, but it has shown me that I can actually work through things very quickly. And I don't need to stay in it.
That's good.
Like I think I mentioned this before in the last episode, where I was like, before I could really, and I was already getting better, but before I could really just hang on to certain feelings or thoughts and identify myself with them. And now I'm just really able to put it out on the page and then let it go.
That's amazing. I wrote, write to my morning pages has shown me I can decide how I want to show up each day. Just having more autonomy.
Yeah. Love
this.
I'm taking a greater interest in...
the pursuit of love.
Aw. I don't know what I wrote, but right now I would say baking.
I love that. True.
I believe I'm getting better at.
I said my own regulation and recognizing my habits and setting healthy ones.
That's really good. I would say I believe I'm getting better at taking good care of myself consistently.
Good.
My artist has started to pay more attention to.
My joy when I get to play.
Oh, cute. I don't know. I don't think I wrote anything. And also, I find this hard.
My artist has started to pay more attention to.
Do you feel like there's like do you feel a difference between your artist and you?
Or I am my artist.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say my joy for sure. Like, and I did say when I play, because I've become more aware of the joy and the play and the fun that I get when I'm doing something, when I'm performing. But also the other day I woke up and I was feeling really sad and I almost wanted to cry. And then I went upstairs and Hannah was there and he was like, hey, I have this little spider. Why don't we hide it? We're going to prank Natalia. And I was like, oh, we spent like 10 minutes trying to tie a string to it to put it on the door handle. And we were just like, I love that. That it completely became like, I said to him, I love that we can have this childlike playfulness. And he was like, I know, I love this too. And it was so nice to just fully go into that. And it helped me also. I was like, I know this is something that makes me feel better when I'm not feeling great.
Right. I don't really know.
No? How do you feel that you have changed? What have you become more aware of?
Like, if something comes to mind, I think it would just be taking care of my own feelings as well. I think, which I don't even know if that has to do. I think, probably. Oh, sorry, I have to talk. But
you have to talk?
No, sorry, because I was going like this.
Oh.
I think, which, I mean, you mentioned this in the last episode as well, that you feel like it's not necessarily specifically about creativity or you as an artist. It's really about you as a whole human being. And that's definitely what I feel as well. And so I feel like I am just getting so much better and like actually really good at like noticing like, what do I want and what do I need and how can I make decisions that align with that. And then I've been so much better at doing so. And so obviously when you listen to your own needs and you fulfill them, you feel so much better. And I think I don't know if I said that last time, but I just feel so much. I feel like I take really good care of myself. I really prioritize my self-care. I really take the time for my own feelings. I feel like writing helps a lot with that. Like the pages, it helps me process. It helps me give space for my own emotions. So I feel more reliant on myself. And I don't really know how that ties into this one, but I just feel like I think where I lost myself and where I got blocked is by thinking so much about other people. What do other people need and want from me? What do other people think I should do? And trying to fit that mold. And that's where I think I lost myself. So I feel like maybe that. I don't know.
You could say that my artist has started to pay more attention to me.
Yeah, to me.
Yeah,
exactly. Okay, my self-care is good. Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, you wrote good?
No, I don't know, but that's what comes up. My self-care is just what it is
good.
literally, or what?
Yeah, I thought that. My self-care is good.
My self-care is going to bed early, sleeping 8 hours of sleep or more, exercising, drinking enough water, eating well, working out. I said that. Exercising.
I said morning pages and setting intentions.
Yeah, the intentions are great.
Oh, I love it.
It's so funny because I've seen, setting intentions or an intention journal or whatever. I've seen that for years, right? And I've never taken the time to try it. and then you mentioned it that you did it, and then I was like, okay, let me try. It kind of feels like magic again, because it feels like
it is.
I write it down, and then exactly as I write it down, it's happening, or then that's what my day is gonna be like. It's crazy.
I think it's so powerful.
It's very powerful. I feel more
myself and free.
Agree. Yeah. I feel more grounded in myself as well. I feel like I know better who I am, and I feel good. Yeah. Possibly my creativity is
number 10.
Yeah.
Possibly my creativity is finding a new method and breaking free.
I would say possibly my creativity is coming back to me. Or not coming back, but like in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was cute.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this next week. Because we're already on Wednesday.
Girl, I still need to do all these tasks.
Maybe I'll do another week.
Yeah, honestly, but this was very long. Week 8, very long.
8.
She ate.
I think, do you know what it is? I'm torn between, like, I felt a little bit disconnected from after deprivation week, and I was like, I need a bit more time to do this week, and it's fine. I'd rather give myself more time than move on when I'm not ready. But then I'm like, actually, you know what? I also need to do it, but like, I don't want to move on just because I feel like I need to move on.
Exactly. Like
I want to get the value out of it.
Agree.
Let's go on to things I love, things I hate.
Yes.
Okay. Things I love this week. The bookend method, or the sandwich, whatever we want to call it. I wrote this down on my list.
You told me, I think.
Yeah. I'm calling it a bookend, which is like those two little things that hold up the books on a bookshelf.
What is it? Yeah, tell me about it again.
Well, we talked about something earlier when we went favorite experience of ours that we had. You said we went to do an escape room, then we had some cocktails, then we went back to the escape room.
Right.
So in my head, the escape room was bookending the drinks.
Right.
We had something on either end.
Do you mean on King's Day, how we did those drinks?
When we went on King's Day, we had a shot, we had a cocktail, and then another shot.
Yeah.
So I feel like this formula can be applied in many different contexts.
Right.
And it's successful.
Yeah.
So I'm really into that. That's number 1 on my list.
Those drinks.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Marvelous.
Okay.
Number 2, or should we go back and forth? You tell me something.
Surprise. My favorite, something I love is baking. Do I have to say it again? I love it.
Okay. I put performing because I had a great show at the festival.
Yeah.
It was just so fun. Honestly, things did go wrong. Not through any fault of mine. But I didn't care.
Yeah.
Because I was like, am I going to let this stop me having fun right now? No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good. It's good as well that you can separate.
Have to.
Something technically went wrong, I had a really good time.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I think could influence
but
you.
I also am like, you cannot avoid that.
Right.
Like, and I am not going to stress myself out trying to make sure everything is perfect, knowing that nothing ever is.
Right.
So I really, fortunately, that is one area of my life where I've really been able to let go of like making mistakes. I'm like, whatever. And I think just my personality is I'm really able to make a joke about it in the moment.
Right.
So then it becomes quite funny to me. And I love when people laugh.
Yeah.
Because then I laugh and it's great.
Something else I've been loving are my driving classes. I feel so good about it. I'm gonna get my license very soon.
I'm excited. When's your practical?
They said probably in September, which I think is quite late. Like I want to do it in July, but whatever, we'll see. I'm gonna get it though, and then everyone's getting a free ride.
Yeah, because you've been a passenger princess for way too long.
I have.
I can't wait for you to drive me around.
Yeah. Honestly, like there's a few people that have driven me, like I've driven with them so many times that I should give them like a year of like free rides.
Yeah.
And like whenever I'd be like, whenever you need me, even if it's the middle of the night, you just call me.
You're gonna love driving. I feel like you're gonna be like, you want me to drive there?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna love it.
Yeah. I wonder if I could buy a car this year, but we'll see.
You should get an electric car.
Yeah. What do you hate?
Wait.
Oh, love?
Oh my gosh, I forgot about this one other thing.
Yeah?
Well, no, things I love. Chai latte. Just got right back into them.
Very fall, though.
Yeah, right. So unexpected, but I just had a craving and I had one and I was like, ooh. And the Kardashians.
Cute.
Yeah, just really got into that show lately.
Very cute.
Everything. This was on Things I Love. It's another quote. Everything is data. We decide how we want to feel. So I saw this. Thoughts are just a thought unless they're a fact, and facts are always neutral until we decide how they make us feel. So we are in control of how we feel.
That's good.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
But hard to apply.
It's the same with what I said about the clouds, because you need to be able to distance yourself. You need to be able to look at it and be like, okay.
Facts are neutral until we decide how they make us feel.
Yeah.
That's the part I struggle with, though, because I mean, I would put it in an extreme context. Someone kills someone. That's a fact. I'm then
it's
like,
really bad.
How do I want to feel about that?
That's
you
horrible.
know, that is when, I mean, in theory, yes, I can decide how I want to feel about it.
Right.
But also, there are some things that just hit you.
Yeah. No, definitely. Definitely. But on a day-to-day, you can decide probably.
Mm-hmm.
You can try at least to take more like authority of, no. I'm in control and I will decide whatever gets to me or what does not get to me. Yeah. True.
That's my things I love.
Okay. What do you hate?
People who don't dance at concerts and clubs.
What is that about?
What the hell? It makes me want to scream.
I don't understand. And I feel like there's a lot of places actually in this city as well where there's this culture of, look at me, I'm so cool, I'm like really pretty, and I'm just gonna stand here.
But no, I'm like, yes,
guys
you are.
And girls.
You are pretty. You look cool.
Yeah.
Are you having fun?
But why do you stand still? Especially when it's like a club night or something where you want to shake your ass. Hello.
I think people look the coolest when they're actually having fun and dancing.
Yeah.
Because if you're there and people around you are dancing and you're just chilling, I think you look like a loser.
Exactly.
And I was getting irritated by this. When I was out the other night, though, oh my gosh, I had so much fun.
Yeah.
There are a few people, of course, that are just like, and then there are people who look like fools but having the time of their life, and I'm like, they look so fun, and because they don't care, I think it makes them cooler.
Yeah, definitely.
They're just enjoying it, and I just think it's so things I hate is people who are too cool to have fun.
Yeah.
Don't be a loser.
Yeah. Something I hate with a deep passion is people who leave a bathroom dirty. And this can be personal, but also in public. But I don't get it. Like, do people... I was at the office yesterday. I walk into... I don't even want to get into it.
Do I want to hear this?
I walk into a bathroom when there's all these, like, skid marks. Like, sorry. And I'm like, there's no way. And this is a women's bathroom. I expect a little bit more. I'm sorry. But I'm like, how can you leave a public bathroom like that? I don't get it.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Ew.
Exactly.
Do you think... I have a theory, actually. I think some people don't look.
I mean, must be true, because
there's no way you're turning around looking at that and being like, whatever. There's no way.
Mean, you turn around to flush, no?
Yeah, but some people might close it. Or they just put the toilet paper and there's too much toilet paper and they don't see it. Like, we don't even go into detail. But, you know, I think people are just not looking. Because sometimes really I've gone in and been like, there's no way you have left that there without, knowingly.
Yeah, well, I think that's my ick as well. That's just my ick. I find an icky wicky thing. I find
icky wicky. It's pretty horrendous.
That's a toxic trait. That's bad. That's
just
flag. All over bad. My feeling bad, not neutral. Bad. Something else I hate, and I mentioned this a little bit, is my screen time. And it's not bad. Let me just say that, like, it used to be crazy, and now it's good. But I'm just like, ever since reading deprivation, I'm like a little, I don't know. Yeah, that's all.
I have to say on my list, I hate trance music.
I think I love trance music.
Yeah, I think you do. Yeah, I wrote it down, not because you showed it to me and I was like, and then I went out. I went out to see Jungle at this, at Digital. And, you know, I just didn't feel like drinking that night. So I had a Red Bull, whatever. Right. And so I realized I understand why people take drugs in environments like this and drink a lot, because it's shit. The music is just not good. Jungle was amazing. Right. But after that, it just got really, really trance. And I was like, I can't dance to this.
Yeah,
like I can't
be into it. Yeah.
Yeah. No offense. Yeah. You have to be into it, and you have to, it's not something I can connect to where I can like transcend and become, you know, leave my body. Yeah. I was there like, I did not enjoy it. Right. And I don't want to be like in environments where I'm like, oh, I can't enjoy this unless I'm drinking or, you know, so yeah, I had to put that on my list. Maybe hates is too strong a word. Don't enjoy it. Yeah. That's it. Okay. Well, I have one last thing. Oh, wow. It's actually very sad. And I hate it. And do you remember when we had that assignment where we had to send postcards? Yes. Yeah, so I sent them. Oh, God. And I was already kind of getting suspicious, like, why are my friends not texting me? Like, oh my God, received your letter. There was one friend who received her card. Mm-hmm. The other ones, they didn't arrive. I don't know what happened to them. They got lost. Oh my God. But I texted my friend this morning. I was like, hey, did you ever receive my postcard? And he was like, no. When did you send it? Girl, I thought you were going to say something else. Whew, okay. And 2 weeks. Yeah, and I was like, surely that must have been there already. It wasn't 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it was. Because we FaceTimed and you were like, I need to go post my postcards. It was 2 weekends ago. That's crazy. Yeah. Wow. So they never arrived. Oh. No. Well, you enjoyed writing them, right? I did. You enjoyed the task. No, I know it's shitty. Yeah. And I thought you were going to tell me someone had died. I'm sorry. Just the way you set that up, I really was like, I thought you were going to be like, I sent the postcard and I sent it to someone and they didn't receive it because they were dead. No. Oh my God. Because you're like, it's really sad. No, yeah, sorry. No, but I do find it sad. No, it is sad. It is. I'm sorry. I had to ask, right? Like, did you get your card? And then now I don't want to send another one. Or like, I guess I can, but you know. Anyways. You could do if you wanted to. I hate it. Yeah. Only one arrived. Yeah, which is so strange. And because they were all in the same. And he was like, what was the address? And I sent it to him, and he was like, no, it's correct. I was like, did I make a mistake? But no, it was all correct. It must just be lost. I wonder, did you send it in an envelope? Yeah. Oh, so it was like a letter. Yeah. Huh? With a stamp. With a stamp. With a stamp. Whoa. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. So, don't know. Who knows? Might turn up. What else? Hélas. No? You know, honestly, I'm not really hating a lot this week. Well, I mean, there are things, but... Ow, my fucking back hurts. Did you crack? No, but it hurts. Yeah. Why? Yeah, sometimes my shoulder or my back or God, you are old. Weird. It's age. It's like an injury thingy, or not injury, but like this thing that comes back. Anyways, I think that was all for me. Well, to wrap it up, I want to play. Oh no, well, I wanted to play a game, but I've honestly asked you all these questions. Honestly, maybe. So, yeah, I think I'm done. Yeah, we could talk about so many other things. I want to talk about our new name. We want to talk about blah 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 blah. But yeah, sometimes you know what? There's no new name. There is because we didn't introduce it as a new introduction. But I just wanted to say, like, it's also important to know when to not talk. Well, do you want to say anything? No, I think this was it. Parting words. Okay, so today's Wednesday. Well, we have been really productive this day, so that's been lovely. And we've done some good work, I'm telling you. I'm excited for the next time we record, and I'm excited for how we wrap up May
And I'm so excited to go into June. Honestly, can't wait for June.
June and July.
Yes.
I'm so ready. I wanted, yeah, okay, yeah. Let's say goodbye. Wait.
Bye, guys.
Okay.
Oh. Guys, I really hope you've enjoyed this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are perhaps also doing the artist way, tell us how you experienced these weeks, if you can relate to anything we said. Honestly, I don't know if we did this in the last one, but I just would love for people to connect with us in the comments, or just let us know what you love and hate. Like, I would love to just connect. I would just love to hear what you guys think.
Let us know. Follow us on Instagram. Our page is now live. Has been live, actually.
Yeah.
So you can find us on the socials, talk to us. I don't know.
And guys, quick question. Do you guys have it figured out? Does anyone have it figured out?
Honestly, I do. I think, yeah.
Good.
But I'll tell you about that next week. Bye.
Love you. Bye. Why do I keep saying love you?
Because we do love them. Them.